Back here in Cabot for the Coleman Family Dentistry pregame show. We welcome you in, watching live on the Bomber Sports Network and listening live on Classic Hits 101.7. Pleased to have you with us here this evening. Again, should be a promising matchup. Lady Bombers with one win on the season, but they have competed hard in every game so far. Cabot Lady Panthers coming into this season. According to Scorebook Live, they were 4-2, but according to their coach, they have played 7 games, so I don't know how that math checks out. Again, still don't know the starters just yet. Kind of have an idea, but we just want to make sure before we get those out to you. Again, this is the Coleman Family Dentistry pregame show. Cabot's got a good ball club. They're always consistently in the state tournament. Always, every once in a blue moon, every 2 or 3 years or so, they'll have a team that could compete for a state title, and certainly sounds like they have a team like that this year. So again here, first of 3 games for the Lady Bombers. Bomber boys will play 2 games this weekend. Should be 5 good games for both teams this weekend. And then it all leads up to the Bombers and Lady Bombers heading to Harrison on Tuesday. We're going to take one last break and then bring you some Lady Bomber basketball. This has been the Coleman Family Dentistry pregame show. You're listening to Bomber Basketball, Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. Bombers will start on defense. Cabot going from right to left. They're in their home whites, red numerals, red trim. Lady Bombers going from left to right, and a whistle and a travel early on. Lady Bombers in their road blues, gold numerals, and gold trim. We are playing with a shot clock for this weekend. One thing we forgot to mention, it will be good to get prepared for this as the entire state will shift to a shot clock. Up top, Husky. To the left side, Cameron Mullen thrown out of bounds. And it is picked up by Cabot. Cabot across the timeline. Driving inside is Madar. Back to Cook. Handed back inside to Madar. Madar with the right-hand layup is good. And Cabot's on the board. So 2-0 our score. Lady Bombers trailing. Husky on the right side, dribbling back to her left, off to Rucker. Ball is stolen, picked up by Cook. Cook dropped it down to Reese. Reese off the window, good, and it's 4-0. Our score. Lady Bombers currently trailing. Mullen between the circles, back to the left side, Husky. Husky looking. Back to Waymire, swung to the right side, Mullen. Mullen's going to drive. To the left side, Waymire. Husky with it, step back three on the way, won't go. Cabot with the basketball now. Driving reverse layup off the window is good by Reese. And it's 6-0. Cabot on top early. Layla Reese with 4 points. Lady Bombers still scoreless. Handed dropped inside down to Norcross. Looked like it was kicked out of bounds by Cabot. But it's going to stay with Cabot. Coach Leonard wants a timeout. We'll take one with him. You're listening to Lady Bomber Basketball. Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. That the state of Arkansas will play with starting next year. The entire state, Class 6A, the highest classification in Arkansas, has been playing with it since last year, all the way through conference play and through the state tournament. The ball's turned over. Norcross picks it up. Husky now. Across the timeline, Lady Bombers currently trailing 6-0. 5:15 left in this first quarter. Up top, Rucker. Over to Husky. Husky back to Waymire. Rucker looking. A whistle and a 3-second violation is called. It's going to go against Mountain Home. Lauren Waymire gets bopped with that. And that's the third turnover for Mountain Home. Andy Norcross will exit the ball game. Kate Jackson will step in. And it's turned over. Lady Bombers come up with it. Husky now between the circles. Now dribbles to the left side. Now back to her right side. Husky over to Mullen. Hesitation move driving. Lost it. Turned over. Picked up by Cabot. Driving back out. Got it back to Leonard. Leonard dropped it down to Madar. lost the handle, and it's picked up again by Mountain Home. Six nothing our score, 4:10 left in the first quarter. Rucker, couple crossover dribbles back to the right side, Husky. Or excuse me, this is Mullen. And it's turned over. Right back to Lady Bombers. Jackson with the right hand, left it short. Stole it right back. Jackson under 4 remaining in this first quarter. Cabot leading 6-0. Ball's turned over and picked up by Cabot. This is Cook. Pair of Cook sisters, 2 daughters of Lady Panther head coach Jay Cook, and it's 8-0 now. The layup from Brenley Leonard. Jackson now on the far side, dribbles back to this way. Between the circles, now Husky on the right wing. Husky up top to Mullen. Mullen's going to drive with the right hand, back to Husky. Husky centers the ball back to Rucker. Rucker, couple crossover dribbles on the far side. Brings it back this way to Jackson. 2:55 left in the first quarter. Jackson dribbling back to the right in front of the Cabot bench, back to Mullen. Shot clock violation. I'll tell you, that's a hard thing to get used to. I wasn't even paying attention to it. I didn't even recognize it got down even below 10 seconds. That's one big thing. If you're not used to it, that's one thing that's really hard to adjust depending on what kind of offense you run. If it's more you're trying to slow the game down, limit possessions, that's one thing that's going to affect a lot of teams across the state. Cabot with the ball. Madar driving, Euro step through the lane, missed the layup, tipped away by Rucker, and it's picked up by Husky. Now, Carly Madar may not sound like a familiar name to the Lady Bomber faithful, but her mom certainly is. Emily Prysock is her mother. Might remember that name from some of the great Lady Bomber teams of the 90s, including was a member of that 8 overtime game. As ball's turned over, picked up by Jenna Cook. Cook lays it off the window and good. 10-0 our score. It's good to talk to her pregame. Works over here in the Cabot School District. Both of her parents originally from Mountain Home, as there's a whistle and a foul underneath. Cameron Mullen will step back in, replacing Parker Husky. Mullen looking, still looking, gets it into Waymire. Waymire bounces between the circles, looking to her left, handoff to Mullen. Minute 30 left in the first quarter. Mullen lost the handle, picked it back up. Jackson tees up the three, bounced around, won't go, and it's rebounded by Leonard. This is Taylor Usry now. Kicks it to the corner. Faith Johnson thought about a 3, Euro step through the lane is good. And it's 12-0. Mullen to run the offense. About a minute to go here in the first quarter. Lady Bombers trail 12-0. Jackson, Norcross for 3, got it. And the Lady Bombers are on the board. Annie Norcross been shooting it really good lately. 12-3 our score. 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Hand it off to Miller. Miller handoff to Madar. Madar spin move through the lane, missed the layup. Blocked by Waymire. Waymire will pick it up, hand it off to Mullen. 3-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. They are using a 35-second shot clock here. Jackson driving through the lane, a whistle, and the ball will be placed underneath. As that foul's going to go on Bliss Miller. Be her first, team second. Not many fouls So the shot clock will reset on a missed shot, a foul, and a kick ball, but it'll reset down to 20. Rucker, couple crossover dribbles. Crossover spins from the nail head. Jumper off the back of the iron won't go. Down to 10 seconds remaining. Cabot driving. This is Miller. Miller back up top to Reese. Now to Johnson, down to 1, puts it up at the horn. Missed it, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Lady Bombers starting off cold, but they hit a shot there the last minute. We'll take a short little break into the first quarter. Lady Bombers trailing 12-3. You're listening to Lady Bomber Basketball. Classic Hits 101.7. Little Rock and Searcy. About 2.5 hours from Mountain Home. Lady Bombers will start with possession of the basketball. Ball tried to get down to Mullen in the corner. She's whistled and she stepped out of bounds. And Cabot will take over. The 6th turnover for the Lady Bombers. Fresh 35 on the shot clock. This is Usry. Hand off to Johnson, back to Cook. J.C. Cook tees up the 3, got it. 15-3, Cabot leading. J.C. Cook with her first bucket of the night. Husky bounced to Jackson. Jackson in the far corner. Up top to Rucker. Rucker between the circles, top of the key, dribbles with the left hand, goes to the spin move. Away with an extra step. It looked like Husky's going to pull up for the 8-footer, left it short, and it's rebounded by Reese. We have a whistle and a jump ball, and it's going to go to Cabot. $15-3 our score, 1 bucket only so far for Cabot here in the second period of action. Faith Johnson with the basketball. A couple crossover dribbles against Norcross. Great defense from Norcross. Over to the far corner, Cook. Cook back to Miller. Miller almost lost the handle, but it swung to the near side, Usry. Usry driving along the baseline, kicks it back out. Miller for 3, rattled around, and it fell right to the hands of Jackson. Husky will walk the basketball up, 15-3 our score. Lady Bombers trailing, 6.5 to go here in the first half. Husky over to Wilbur, first time into the basketball game. Wilbur tried an entry pass over to Norcross, and it's touched by Norcross, and it'll go out of bounds, and Cabot will take over. Usry walking the ball up. Goes to her left. Hand off to Miller. Little dribble drive action for Cabot. Miller between the circles. Now hand off to Johnson. Johnson, top of the nail head. Now back to J.C. Cook. Another 3. Got it. Second 3 of the second quarter for J.C. Cook. And it is 18-3. Husky now. Guarded by Usry. Husky tried to get it to Rucker, and it's thrown out of bounds. Last touch by Mountain Home. And we have a whistle and a timeout on the floor called by Cabot. Coach Jay Cook wants to talk it over real quick. We'll take one with him. You're listening to Lady Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
Across the state of Arkansas, Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville join you in cheering on our favorite teams. We applaud that extra effort that makes our schools and activities an important part of our communities, more now than ever. Working as a team to make our communities better by helping you reach your goals, that's what happens at Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville, home of me banking. Member FDIC.
Cabot, 18-3 our score. Lady Bombers trailing. Cabot with the basketball. Jenna Cook will dribble. Crossover dribble. Top of the key. Off to her sister JC. Another three. Got it. My goodness, she's wearing the net out here in the second quarter. She's got 9 points off of 3 threes. And it's 21-3. Husky, back to Mullen. Mullen, jab step against Cook. Picks up her dribble, now to the corner, Norcross. Norcross going to dribble, bring it back out. Back to Mullen. Mullen looking, down to 10 on the shot clock. Mullen's going to go baseline. Kicks it out, Jackson puts up the three, long. Waymire got a hand on it, but it was last touched by Waymire, and Cabot will take over. Here is Cook across the timeline. Back to Miller. Miller to Madar. And a whistle and a travel is called. Looked like she got a running start when she tried to get that hand off. It's the second turnover for the Lady Panthers. And it'll go back to Mountain Home. Mullen will walk the basketball up. Back to Jackson, to Husky on the right wing. Husky looking, finds a cutting Jackson. Jackson off the window, a whistle and a travel is called. Cabot will take over again. It's the 10th turnover for the Lady Bombers. Cook with the basketball. Cook back to Madar. Jumper won't go. Offensive rebound by Reese. Reese back to Cook along the baseline against Waymire. A whistle and a travel underneath is called. Lady Bombers will pick up the basketball. 4:15 left in this first half. Lady Bombers find themselves trailing 21-3. Lone bucket by Annie Norcross. Mullen sends Husky through along the baseline. Mullen to the corner, Waymire. Waymire's going to bring it back out. Gets a screen from Husky, down to 15 on the shot clock. Husky jabs through, gives it off to, tried to get it to Jackson, but she was denied very well. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Down to 4, Jackson still looking. Down to 2, down to 1. Husky, they're not going to get a shot off, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. The second shot clock violation of the ball game for the Lady Bombers, and we have a timeout on the floor. Lady Bombers call timeout. We'll take one with them. 21-3 our score. Lady Bombers trailing. You're listening to Lady Bomber Basketball. Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
Scott Tabor Shelter Insurance is proud to support our Mountain Home Bombers. The team at Scott Tabor Shelter Insurance understands and appreciates that professional, dedicated work both on and off the field is a win for both the team and the community. Our Mountain Home Bombers don't shy challenge. They take pride in themselves, their team, and their community. Together, everyone achieves more, and the team at Scott Tabor Shelter Insurance can't wait to cheer the Bombers on through their next great season. Go Bombers!
ASC Warranty is proud to support the Mountain Home Bombers. ASC Warranty provides dealers with vehicle protection plans for any vehicle in their inventory. ASC Warranty's greatest assets are the people that make up the ASC team. The work ethic and dedication to consistently superior services provided by all of their employees are second to none. ASC Warranty is proud to say the Bombers have the same values. ASC Warranty is one of your biggest fans. They will be cheering you on every step of the way. Go Bombers!
In Cabot, fresh out of the timeout, Lady Bombers Hit the floor with the lineup of Norcross, Mullen, Husky, Jackson, and Waymeyer. Find themselves trailing 21-3, 3:30 left in the first half. Hand off to Miller. Miller back to Madar. Driving against Cook. Cook back out to Miller. Miller driving, picks it up at the nail head. Now to Cook. Cook scoop shot, hit the bottom of the backboard, but it's an offensive rebound right to Reese. And she gets the layup to go. 23-3 our score. And the shot clock inadvertently reset there. Ball hit the bottom of the backboard. Not quite sure why it reset, but it ended up not mattering. Husky back to Waymeyer. Near side Jackson on the right wing to Husky between the circles. She's going to drive. Couple crossover dribbles. Picks up her dribble. To Norcross in the mid-range. Back to Waymeyer up top. Over to Mullen, and she last touched it. And it's another turnover for the Lady Bombers. Rucker and Mullen will step out. Wilbur and Norcross will step in. So Cabot with the basketball. 2:30 left in the first half. Madar driving. Finds a cutting Bliss along the baseline. Good reverse layup. Gets it to go. And it is 25-3. Husky with the ball between the circles. On the half-court jump circle. Crossover dribble. Gets by Cook. Now she'll pull it back out. Husky driving at the nail head. Thought about a jumper, but good defense by Cabot. Wilbur thought about a three. Gives it back to Norcross, and she is fouled. That's going to go on J.C. Cook. That'll be her first foul. Monica Chafin will step in, replacing Emma Wilbur. So every Lady Bomber in uniform has stepped onto the floor here in the first half. Husky back to Norcross. Shot clock did reset on that foul. Norcross tees the three up. Got it! Annie Norcross, another three. All 6 of the Lady Bomber points. And it's 25-6, minute 40 remaining here in the first half. Cook, deep three. Off the heel of the iron, right to the hands of Norcross. Husky with it now. Husky along the sideline, in front of the Cabot bench. Ball's turned right over, handed it right to Cook. Cook will push ahead. Cook down to Miller. Miller along the baseline, gets it to Madar off the window. Left it long, and it was tipped back out by Cresswell. Three-pointer on the way is short, hits off the front of the iron, and it's picked up by Mountain Home. Cameron Mullen will step in for Parker Husky. Minute 8 remaining here. Cabot leading 25-6. Mullen on the center circle. Across the timeline now on the volleyball stripe. Minute remaining here in the first half. Now to the far side, Rucker. Rucker for three. Missed it. Rebounded by Cabot. Jenna Cook the rebound. Down to J.C. Cook. Up top, Leonard. Leonard tried to hand it off to Cook. Bobble it. Can't dribble. Norcross on her like a cheap suit. Bounce pass to Miller. Miller driving on the cut. Gets the layup to go. Bliss Miller with 4 points. Shot clock turned off. Lady Bombers can hold for the final shot. Mullen to Rucker. Rucker screen from Chafin. Step back three by Rucker. Got it! Amelia Rucker hits the three. And it's 27-9. 10 seconds remaining. Miller now. Back up top. Three-pointer on the way. Missed it. Picked up by Norcross. They won't get a shot off, and that'll do it for the first half. Lady Bombers will head to the halftime break trailing 27-9. We'll have Josh Fulcher here for the halftime show. We'll talk to him a little bit. Lady Bombers find themselves trailing 27-9. You're listening to Lady Bomber Basketball, Classic Hits 101.7, and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. Back here at halftime, Lady Bombers trailing 27-9. It's time for the Central Heating and Cooling halftime show. Central Heating and Cooling, where comfort exceeds expectations. Go check a couple stats here. Annie Norcross with 6 points. Amelia Rucker with 3. That's all the scoring for Mountain Home. J.C. Cook, one of the two Cook sisters, with 9 points. Had a barrage of threes there in the second quarter. That's been a quick check of the stats. Please be joined at halftime by head coach Josh Fulcher. Coach, dodge that traffic we were just talking about a little bit.
Well, you know, it was, it took a little bit longer to get down here. We're going to be here for a few days, so hopefully everything else will be a little bit more pleasant while we're down here.
Hopefully so. So tonight you're playing the host team, Cabot Panthers. Logan Bailey, good buddy of ours, always has a good team. What do we know about them?
Well, you know, Logan, it was funny. I was talking to another coach, and he played. I'm familiar with his old high school coach. You know, John White, he was a coach at Searcy, and I coached against him when he was at Grosse Ferry West Side. And I was telling the coach today about Cabot, and said, you know, they're running a lot of sets. You know, when Logan was in high school, a lot of things are very similar to what his old high school coach did. Meaning, you know, Princeton offense, they run a 2-2-1, and just seeing a lot of similarities. And then I was reminded by my good friend Bubba Deaton over at Nettleton. He said, isn't John his assistant? I said, you know what? He sure is. I forgot all about that. It makes sense. So, yeah, we're very familiar, you know, with John. Not so much with Logan, but we've seen a lot of film on this Cabot team. They're deep. They're big. You know, their record doesn't show it. I think they're 1-4 or something like that as well. But they've played some really good teams, and they've been leading just about every team. And they find a way in the fourth quarter not to get it done.
Yeah.
And the other night, they put away a very, very good Morrilton team. And, we just hope that they didn't figure it out all of a sudden right before we play them. But no, we got our hands full. We love the challenge of playing the host school. I told the guys last week when we played Branson, I said there's nothing better than beating the host team at their own tournament and beating somebody at their own homecoming. So we have one of those opportunities tonight, and we fully plan on executing that game plan and doing that.
Now, your non-conference schedule, you know, you've played, what is this, game number 6? No, this is game number 6 tonight.
Number 6, yes, sir.
So you've played 5 games already. All 5 of the teams you've played are either going to be in their respective state tournament or could probably go win the darn thing. What does that say about what are you trying to get here when you have a strength of schedule like this in the non-conference?
Well, you know, my philosophy is this, Dylan. You know, I always kind of look at, you know, our preseason schedule, our non-conference schedule.
Yeah.
I see that as our preseason. Our real season is conference because that's where everything matters, honestly. So my objective is to challenge our guys to grow as much as we can, and then by our Christmas tournament, we kind of start getting into another gear, moving right into our conference schedule. So, yeah, the plan is always this. We want to play really good teams that challenge us. We're interested. We're in the business of getting better, not getting a bunch of easy wins. And, you know, if we like to get those wins. Yeah. But, you know, if we can keep improving. And we had, I think, you know, we had last week we went 1-2 at that Branson tournament. You know, our second game, we ran into a buzzsaw, and we learned a lot about ourselves, some things that we didn't do well and what we're not about. I thought we bounced back really well Saturday against Branson, showed a little bit more fight, and really showed kind of what we were about. We've got to keep growing. Yeah. We can't go back any because we're like I said it, we're an experienced team, an inexperienced team, and you know, we just got to keep improving, even if it's just by an inch. But we can't.
That's still growth.
Yes, we can't go backwards because if we don't keep improving, then our conference is pretty tough. Yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult to get in that top 4, especially when you're looking at two of the top, you know, probably 6-8 teams in our classification are standing your way, and then you've got some really good, you know. Siloam Springs is playing really well, and
I heard Van Buren was doing really well. Alma's really playing teams close, so
it's so you know, everybody's trying to get better. You know, everybody's working, everybody's practicing. You know, so we got to do our part, and we just got to try to do a little bit more than everybody else is. And that's kind of like that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
That's why we come to work every day. We want to be better than we started, and we really buy into that. And I love this group of guys. I'm going to be honest with you. For early in the week, we were still a little heavy-legged. 4 days, 4 games in 5 days, especially
that's tough on anybody.
Games, yeah. And I told Coach Morris, I said, man, our kids are tired. I said, Coach, we're tired.
Yeah.
But it's really good, though. We got a lot of challenges. But it was good to kind of get that extra. I felt yesterday was our first day that we bounced back and looked good shooting it. But we're a little sluggish early in the week, and we need to come out like we did yesterday and not like we did on Monday and Tuesday because, like I said, we're going to have to play extremely well to beat Cabot. But we're very
doable.
We're very capable, and but we need to come out. We have a few challenges. The shot clock, that's a small little challenge, but we need to come out. We got to be really they're really physical.
Yeah.
We got to keep them off the boards. We got to stay out of foul trouble. That's going to be a huge issue because they can throw
so physical.
Body. Yes,
yeah.
and us matching that intensity. And, it always comes down, we need to put the ball in the hole. So
we're
going to need to have a good shooting night. And hopefully Cabot doesn't have one of them performances that, a couple years ago was one of the best shooting performances I've seen.
They hit 23s?
Yeah, better than Lake Hamilton did the other night.
That's saying a lot.
And, that is saying a lot. But, hey, we're here. We're finally here, so
we're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
One last thing, before we let you go here, about 20 seconds. What kicks we going with tonight? You went with the dress shoes. You had a pair of J's last week.
We're going to go.
I think Coach Biggs called
Coach
one of their
Morris.
games they had last week, said it's an Air Force One kind of game, all black.
We're going Jordan 1s tonight.
Okay.
We're going the blue and black. So
all right, very good.
Kind of going with the theme tonight. So hopefully that'll bring some good luck, Decon.
Hopefully so. Coach, appreciate you.
Appreciate all you do, Decon.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man. Central Heating and Cooling halftime show. Central Heating and Cooling, where comfort exceeds expectation. That was Coach Josh Fulcher. We'll take a short little break, bring you the second half of action here in Cabot. You're listening to Lady Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. Of action here, just underway. Inbounding the ball right as soon as we got out of the break. Lady Bombers with the ball. Now they're moving from right to left in front of us. 27-9 our score. Lady Bombers trailing. Jackson with the ball. Now Rucker to the near side. 10 on the shot clock. Rucker could go back to the right side. Down to 7. Rucker, couple crossover dribbles. Back to Waymeyer. Over to Jackson. On a cutting, finds a cutting Jackson. There's going to be 1 on the shot clock. So they'll have probably time for a jumper, but it's got to be quick. Husky will throw in. Husky. Looking. Into Norcross, got to put up the 3, and it's a shot clock violation. The 3rd shot clock violation of the ball game for Mountain Home. Lady Bombers going with Norcross, Waymeyer, Rucker, Jackson, and Husky, the 5. Cabot moving from left to right now. 27-9 our score. Jumper is good. That was by, I believe that was Braden, or excuse me, that was Layla Reese. She's got 8 points. Inside to Waymar, off the window, left it long, tried to get tipped back by Jackson, but it's picked up by Cabot. 6:45 left in the third quarter. 29-9 our score. Cabot on top. Jenna Cook driving. A lot of contact under the rim. No call. Jackson picks it up. Jackson across the timeline with her right hand. Guarded by Cook. Swung to the far side, Rucker. A lot of contact. Officials letting the kids play. Norcross tees up the three. High arcing shot off the back of the iron, and it goes right to Jenna Cook. And she'll walk the basketball up. 6 minutes left here in the third quarter of action. Cabot up 20. Madar driving with the left hand. Long shot won't go. Husky pushing ahead. Husky, Reese on her back. Husky off the window, won't go. It was last touch by Cabot. And Mountain Home will throw in underneath. Substitution for Cabot. Bliss Miller will step in. She'll come in to replace Carly Madar. Jackson will throw in. Into Husky on the far corner. Dribbles back to this side, now to Rucker. Rucker wants a three. Long shot won't go, and it's rebounded right to J.C. Cook. A whistle and a foul is called. I believe Waymeyer's going after the basketball, pushed her out of bounds. It's going to go on Lauren Waymeyer. Be her first foul. Jenna Cook with the ball. Across the timeline, guarded by Jackson. Far side, Reese. Now Miller. Back to Cook, about the volleyball line. Couple hesitation moves by Miller. Miller's going to drive. Dribble drive action back to Cook. J.C. Cook for three. Long rebound to Waymeyer. Tell you what, J.C. Cook had 3 threes in that second quarter. Husky with the ball. Got a screen from Waymeyer. Waymeyer to the far corner. Skips it to Jackson. Jackson lost the handle. Screen from Norcross. Now between the circles, Jackson lost the handle. She's got to pick it back up. Tip back to Husky. Husky lost it, and it's a backcourt violation. Had to go retreat to the backcourt to pick that one up, and it's another turnover for Mountain Home. Ball will be thrown in on the far side. J.C. Cook will throw in, guarded by Husky. Now back to her sister Jenna. Jenna picks up her dribble, back to Bliss Miller. Bliss Miller working against Rucker. Hand off to Cook. Cook back to Reese. Reese tried to find a cutting Miller, thrown out the back of Rucker. Lady Bowers pick it up, and it's turned over immediately. Cook driving, a whistle, no shot. Ball will be placed underneath the basket. It's going to go on Parker Husky. Be her first foul. Team's second of the second half. Carly Madar will step back in. She'll replace Layla Reese for Cabot. 29-9 our score. 4:43 left in the third period. Cameron Mullen will step in, replace Parker Husky. Husky will take a breather. Miller along the baseline. Back to Madar, back up top to Cook. Cook tees up to three. Jackson guarding her, got it. Jenna Cook from downtown. She's got 5 points. First three of the ball game, and it's 32-9 in favor of Cabot. Mountain Home with the basketball. Over to Waymeyer. Waymeyer up top. Rucker almost had it stolen. Rucker, couple step through moves. Up top, Norcross for three. Off the back of the iron, right to the hands of Leonard. Leonard pushing ahead to Madar. Madar driving along the baseline, kicks it out. Up top to Leonard again. Along the baseline, this is Jenna Cook. A lot of contact under the rim, but it's picked up by Mountain Home. Jackson pushing ahead. Over to Mullen on the near side. Mullen now between the circles. 3:40 left in the third quarter of action. To Waymeyer on the left wing. Waymeyer over the top to Norcross into the paint. Whistle, count it, and one. Annie Norcross gets the bucket to go. Great pass from Waymeyer. Norcross has 8 points. Annie Norcross will attempt to complete the three-point play. Long rebound goes back to Cabot. Free throw was missed. Cook with it. J.C. Cook. 32-11 our score. Mountain Home trailing. First game of 3 here in the Cabot Christmas Classic. Three-pointer by Cook. Hit every part of the backboard. Hit off the score clock. And it'll be turned over back to Mountain Home. Taylor Usry will step in for Cabot. Up 21. Lady Bombers with the ball again. Jackson on the left wing. Up top, Rucker. Rucker loads the three up. Got it! Another three for Amelia Rucker. She's got 6 points. And it's 32-14. Cabot with the basketball again. Down to Usry. Along the baseline. Outside to J.C. Cook. J.C. Cook, 8-foot jumper. Rebounded by Norcross. Mullen with the ball, pushing ahead. Cabot doing a great job in transition. Jackson. Norcross, another three. Got it! So Lady Bombers making a little run here. Annie Norcross with 11 points this evening. And it's 32-17. 2:10 left in the third period. Cabot with the ball. Madar tried to get Miller on the handoff. Great defense by Jackson to deny her. Miller finally gets it along the baseline. Picked up by Waymar. Finds a cutting Madar. Great pass from Miller, and the layup's good. 34-17 our score. Mullen lost the handle, had it knocked out of her hands. A whistle and a turnover. As it was last touched by Mountain Home. Parker Husky and Emma Wilbur will step in. Coach Leonard barking instructions. The official wants the basketball. So Norcross and Rucker will step out. Cabot with the ball. Usry. Couple crossover dribbles, driving. And a whistle and a travel's called. And it'll go back to Mountain Home. Husky on the jump circle, across the timeline, dribbles to her left, now to Waymar on the left wing. Waymar's going to dribble it, gives it to Husky, got tipped. Husky working against Usry. Husky along the baseline, back out. Mullen tried to get to Waymar, got tipped away. Jackson comes up with it. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Jackson. Now to Mullen, down to 3 on the shot clock. Mullen driving. They're not going to get a shot off, and it's turned over back to Cabot. Lady Bombers kind of stopped because they heard the shot clock buzzer, and there's a layup on the other end by Layla Reese. And it's 36-17. Lady Bombers could go 2 for 1 here if they'd like. Down to 40 seconds left in the third period. 20 on the shot clock. Husky going to dribble with her left hand. Nifty move back to Wilbur. Wilbur back to Husky. Husky now back up top of the volleyball line. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Husky driving at the nail head. Puts up the jumper. Won't go. Rebounded to Wilbur. Shot clock turned off now. Wilbur lost the handle, looking for somebody to get it to. Gives it to Jackson. Down to 12. Jackson driving, kick out. Parker Husky the 3. Got it! Parker Husky's first points of the night. And the lead is down to 16. 3 on the other end from Reese is an air ball. And that'll do it for the third period of action. So a fast-paced third quarter, and the Lady Bombers cut into this lead. We'll take a short little break and bring you the fourth quarter of action. You're watching Lady Bomber basketball on the Bomber Sports Network and listening on Classic Hits 101.7.
4 excellent reasons to choose Knox Orthopedics in Mountain Home are Doctors Knox, Rawls, McConnell, and Franklin. They're trained and highly experienced in handling a full range of traumatic or chronic bone and joint conditions. Using on-site X-ray, MRI, and physical therapy, each physician oversees your individual treatment plan. Rediscover the joy of life, pain-free and productive. Appointments available at 5 area locations, number 3 Medical Plaza in Mountain Home, plus clinics in Harris, Harrison, West Plains, Melbourne, and Ash Flat. Visit knoxorthopedics.com for information.
Use the smile to change your world, but don't let the world change your smile. Coleman Family Dentistry is a proud supporter of the Mountain Home Bombers. A family-friendly dental office providing the state-of-the-art clinic, Coleman Family Dentistry is dedicated to you, your health, and especially your smile. With locations in Mountain Home and Cotter, there's every reason to book your appointment today. Call 870-424-4670. Go Bombers.
On the campus of Cabot High School, one of the bigger high schools in the state of Arkansas. Cabot will throw in. Fourth quarter of action, Lady Bombers down 36-20. We are playing this game with a shot clock. Cook with the ball. Now to the far side, Reese. Reese with it, handoff to Johnson. Johnson going to hand off to Miller now. Miller driving, kicks it back out. Jenna Cook for three, got it. Another three for Jenna Cook, her second of the game. She's got 8 points. And it's back to 39-20. Lady Bombers on the other end. Mullen driving off the window, got it. Quick bucket for Mountain Home. First points of the night for Cameron Mullen. Leads back down to 17. Cabot with the basketball. Cook. Now Reese has it. Reese trying to hand it off to Johnson. Successfully back to Usry. Usry driving. A whistle and a travel is called. And Mountain Home will regain possession. Cameron Mullen will walk the ball up. It's Wilbur, Rucker, Waymeyer, Jackson, and Mullen, the five out there for Mountain Home. Jackson inside to Wilbur. Wilbur was being held, tipped it back out, and it's saved by Cabot. Jenna Cook pushing ahead. Jenna Cook driving toward their basketball's turned over, but Jackson picks it up, but she stepped on the baseline. And Cabot will throw in underneath their own rim. Cameron Mullen will step out. Parker Husky back in. 39-22 our score. Ball's inbounded. Can't tell who. It's a great trap by the Lady Bombers. Jumper on the way by Reese. Picked up by Cabot. Miller with it. Reese. Jumper off the window's good. Layla Reese, another bucket. She's got 12 points, 6 here in the second half. And it's 41-22. To Jackson. Jackson, top of the key, Rucker. Rucker thought about a three. Hesitation. Now she's going to Euro step through the lane. Off the back of the iron. Good. Amelia Rucker with another bucket. She's got 8 points. 41-24 our score. A whistle and a travel is called. Annie Norcross will step back in. Rucker will exit. Husky walking the ball up. Husky directing traffic. 5:30 left in the ball game. And a whistle and a 5-second violation. And it's going to go back to Cabot. Mullen will step in, replacing Jackson. Cabot with the basketball once again. Johnson. Back to Cook. Cook driving. Scoop layup. Great shot underneath. And it's going to go. Jenna Cook with a great scoop shot. 43-24 our score. Lady Bombers with the ball now. Husky off the window, long shot, picked up by Mullen. Shot clock reset. Norcross left wing three. It's going to be off right, and it's rebounded by Cabot. Reese with it now, pushing ahead. Reese driving through traffic, kick out. Jenna Cook for three. Good looking shot, missed by her. Mullen picks up the rebound, a whistle and a foul. It's going to go against Layla Reese. Layla Reese got her across the arm. Couple substitutions for Cabot. Carly Madar will step back in along with J.C. Cook. As Usry will step out along with Johnson. Husky will walk the ball up. Husky between the circles, directing traffic. Monica Chafin into the ball game now. Kick out Mullen along the baseline now. Try to bounce it into Wilbur. Wilbur has it. A whistle and a push is called. 4:25 left in the ball game. Lady Bombers trailing 43-24. Taylor Usry will step in, replacing Jenna Cook. Amelia Rucker will step in as well. Emma Wilbur gets a break. Husky into Mullen. Mullen now. Over to Norcross in the corner. Lost the handle. Looked like she could have had a jumper if she caught it cleanly. Mullen over to Husky. A lot of contact. Husky driving, crossover dribble. Good screen from Chafin. Chafin on the roll, down on the left block. Kick out to Husky. 4 minutes left in the basketball game. Husky skip to Mullen. 10 on the shot clock. Screen from Norcross. Now to the right wing. Norcross loads up the three. Short. Nobody was there to rebound it from Mountain Home, and it's picked up by Madar. Cabot pushing ahead. Madar with it. Over to Usry. Couple crossover dribbles. Great defense by Husky, and a whistle and a foul. Not sure where the foul was. Looked like she just fell. But Cabot will throw in underneath their own basket. Inbounded quickly right to Bliss Miller. Lady Bombers weren't paying attention there. And Bliss Miller has her 8th point of the evening. 45-24 our score. Husky driving now at the nailhead. Hand off to Rucker. Rucker between the circles. Screen from Chafin. Rucker looking. 3:20 left in the ball game. Rucker going to pull up 15-footer. Short. Chafin got a hand on it, but it's tipped right to Cabot. Reese driving. Good Euro skip. Step looked like a travel, but it's picked up. Offensive rebound immediately by Madar, and she'll put it in. Carly Madar makes the lead 23 as it's 47-24. Husky now. Husky over to Mullen. To Rucker. Rucker. Chafin now back to Husky. Lady Bombers down 23, finds a cutting Mullen along the baseline. A lot of contact, gets the bounce to go. Cameron Mullen with the layup. She's got 4 points tonight. 47-26 now, 2:30 left in the ball game. Hand off to Miller. Tell you what, this dribble drive offense by Cabot's pretty good. Madar driving against Chafin. Left it long, and it's picked up by Chafin. Husky will walk it up. 2:20 left in the ball game. Lady Bombers down 21. Husky between the circles, setting the offense. Now to Rucker on the far side. A whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Layla Reese. Just pushed through, I believe, Cameron Mullen. Lady Bombers will have the ball with a fresh 35 on the shot clock. Wilbur, Jackson, and Waymar will step in, replacing Rucker, Norcross, and Husky. Waymar will throw in. Tried to get it into Mullen, and it's tipped away by Miller. Mullen will throw it on the sideline, even with the S and Panthers on the floor, into Waymar. Waymar trying to hand it off to Mullen. She does. About 2 minutes left in the ball game. Mullen driving. Pull up. 12-footer is a whistle and a foul. She got pushed in the back, and it's going to be some free throws for Mountain Home. This is only going to be the second and third free throw shot tonight for either team. Mullen's free throw's good. Cameron Mullen with 5 points. Cabot has not shot a free throw this evening. Second one, rattled around, hit every part of the rim and bounced in. And it's 47-28. Less than 2 minutes left now. Cabot, not in any rush to score. Miller skipped over to J.C. Cook. J.C. Cook along the baseline. Mid-post to Miller. Miller driving against Chafin. Got it. Bliss Miller, tell you what, she's having a good night. She's got 10 points. 49-28. Mountain Home leading to Jackson. Jackson screen from Waymeyer. Jackson, a lot of contact. Dive for the loose ball, picked up by Cabot. Minute and a half left in the ball game. Pass thrown ahead to Layla Reese off the window, good. Layla Reese got 14 points. Mountain Home with the ball, down 51-28. Mullen now to Chafin. Chafin driving along the baseline. Up top, Waymeyer. Less than a minute now. Ball's tipped away. Tried to get it to Mullen. Picked up by Miller. Miller driving. Dumps it down to Reese. Off the window, good. 53-28. Mountain Home trailing. 40 seconds left. About an 11-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock as the ball's turned over. Right to Cabot. Now about a second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Miller on the right wing. Now to the low block, Cook. Cook, a whistle, and a foul is called. She's going to shoot 2 free throws. This will be the first free throws of the ball game for Cabot. Jenna Cook will shoot them. .5 left in the ball game. First free throws of the game. Cook hits the first. Faith Johnson, Kaylee Cresswell, and Kinley Porter will step in for Cabot. Cook ready with the second free throw. Right around is missed. Picked up by Waymeyer. Mullen will walk it up. Lady Bombers in no rush. Take a shot here. Mullen with the ball. Good move against Cook. Mullen driving now at the nailhead, driving inside the lane. Scoop shot layup won't go, but she's fouled. It's going to go on Jenna Cook. Cameron Mullen will shoot a pair of free throws. 13.1 left in the ball game. Free throw is missed. She gets ready for the second one. Ivy Lowe will step in for Cabot. A second free throw from Mullen is good. 54-29. Mountain Home trailing, and that looks like it's going to be our final score. 10 seconds remaining. Usry driving. Kick back out. Lowe tried to skip it, and it was sent right into the Cabot bench. 3.6 remaining. Mullen will throw it in. Into Jackson. Jackson down to 2. Jackson down to 1. Not going to get a shot off, and that's going to do it for the ball game. So Lady Bombers drop the first game of the Cabot Christmas Classic, 54-29. They'll have 2 more games left this weekend. We'll take a short little break and bring you the post-game show and give away the Dewey & Sons Plumbing Player of the Game. You're listening to Lady Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7. We welcome you back to Cabot, Arkansas. Lady Bombers dropped the first game 54-29. Lady Bombers never led in the ball game. Good performance all around for Cabot. We're going to check some stats real quick. First for Cabot, Jenna Cook finished with 11, Bliss Miller with 12, Layla Reese 14 points, J.C. Cook 9 points, the Cook family with 20 points this evening. Carly Madar 4 points, the daughter of former Lady Bomber Emily Prysock. Both of her parents living in Searcy now. She works for the Cabot School District. Fun little tidbit there. Faith Johnson with 2 points. Brenly Leonard had the first points of the ball game, but nothing after that. On the Lady Bombers side, Parker Husky hit a 3 in the third quarter, finished with 3. Cameron Mullen with 7. Amelia Rucker with 8. And our Dewey and Sons plumbing player of the game, Annie Norcross, finished with 11 points. So Lady Bombers dropped the first game of the Cabot Christmas Classic. They will take on Pulaski Academy tomorrow afternoon, and then on Saturday, they'll take on Nettleton to close this Classic out. We're going to take a break. They got a lot of time put up for the warm-up here, about 18 minutes till we'll tip it off here in Cabot. They might shorten it. Who knows? We'll keep you updated. You've been listening to Lady Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. Again, the Dewey and Sons plumbing player of the game was Annie Norcross. We'll take a short little break and bring you Bomber Basketball.
Doubleheader on Classic Hits 101.7. Let's go back courtside with the voice of Mountain Home Bomber basketball, Dylan Collins.
Thank you very much. Back here in Cabot. A couple minutes left here in warm-up. It's time for the Coleman Family Dentistry pregame show. Smile's the first thing people notice about you. Get yours fixed up at Coleman Family Dentistry. Should be a good ball game. Cabot comes into the game 1-4. Bombers have one win on the season, but they've been very competitive here at the start of the season. Don't know the starters exactly yet, but we're almost ready to roll here against the host team, the Cabot Panthers. Looks like everybody's healthy for the Bombers today. Braxton Carson was out the last two games with a knee injury. Looks like he's ready to go. He's got it padded up and ready to roll out there. So they're finishing up their final shots of the warm-up. About 2 minutes left here in the warm-up. We're going to take a short little break and bring you the rest of the Coleman Family Dentistry pregame show. You're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. Back here for part two of the Coleman Family Dentistry pregame show. Smile's the first thing someone notices about you. Make sure you get yours fixed up at Coleman Family Dentistry. So again, the Cabot Panthers and the Mountain Home Bombers have both one win on the season. Students still filing in for a decent little crowd here in Cabot. Bombers going to start Luke Proctor, Reed Ellison, Kai Bickford, Braxton Carson, and Braden Dewey. That'll be the five for the Bombers. And Logan Bailey heading up the Cabot Panthers, former Lion Scott. His assistant was his high school coach over at Greers Ferry Westside. Don't know the starters for them just yet, but we'll find out here shortly. We're going to take one more break and bring you Bomber basketball here on Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. But we're ready to go here. They're about to do the starting lineups. Introduce both teams again. The starting lineup for the Mountain Home Bombers. Usual suspects be Braxton Carson, Luke Proctor, Kai Bickford, Braden Dewey, and Reed Ellison. The five for the Bombers, two seniors, a junior, and two sophomores. As we're ready to go here. Going through the lineups once again. Still not sure for Cabot. We can see a couple of them, though, however, over here. Looks like Brandon Bennett's going to get the start. Chris Leaks. Austin King going to get the start. Still can't see two of their other starters. Bombers led by head coach Josh Fulcher. Good little crowd here tonight. First night of the Cabot Christmas Invitational. Jermaine Christopher will get the start as well. And number 3, Gavin Muse. So again, the starting five for Cabot: Austin King, Chris Leaks, Gavin Muse, Jermaine Christopher, and Brandon Bennett. Was able to talk to Logan Bailey a little bit. He had no players currently looked at by any colleges here currently, but he does have a moderately young team. He's only got a handful of seniors. He's got one senior, it looks like, two seniors, excuse me. Mainly sophomores all over this roster, but of course they're a very tough ball club. They have hung with a lot of teams close. Well, we're ready to go here in Cabot. Pleased you could join us here tonight First game of 2 this weekend for the Mountain Home Bombers. They had a game dropped. Pulaski Academy's boys were unable to make it here this weekend. So it's just going to be Cabot and Nettleton. Bombers will take on Nettleton tomorrow afternoon right back here. You can find that game on Classic Hits 101.7 and the Bomber Sports Network as well. So the Bombers will go from left to right on your screen, and Cabot will go from right to left. This is the opening tip-off brought to you by Scott Tabor of Shelter Insurance, and the tip is won by Cabot. Bombers in their road blue uniforms with gold trim, gold numerals, a little bit of white in there. Cabot in their home black uniforms, black trim, and looks like, no, it's, we'll call that red. I thought it was maroon at first, but it's solid red numbers on there. Jumper on the way by Muse is missed. Rebounded by Ellison. Again, they will be playing with a shot clock for this entire Classic, both boys and girls games. 35-second shot clock. It'll be instituted throughout the state next year. Carson with it. Back from his knee injury. He's got it braced up. Bickford to Carson. Braxton Carson, screen from Dewey. Carson looking, down to 10 on the shot clock. Proctor between the circles. Down to 6, down to 5 on the shot clock. Proctor's got to go. Proctor driving, floater. Deep floater, rattled in and out, rolled around, but it's picked up by Cabot. Ball's almost stolen. Christopher, the point guard. Gavin Muse now. On the right wing, guarded by Carson, up top to King. More dribble drive action to Christopher. Now over to Leaks. Leaks off to King. King driving. Looked like got away with a carry. Left it off the window. Won't go. Leaks the offensive rebound and the putback. And it's 2-0 in favor of Cabot. So 2-0 our score. Chris Leaks with the offensive rebound. Bickford will walk it up, set the offense. Now to Dewey on the right wing. Dewey tried to bounce it to Proctor on the right block. And it's a kick ball to go out of bounds. Now the 35-second shot clock will reset after a missed field goal that hits the rim, a violation, and it will also, if it's under 20, will reset back to 20 on a kicked ball. That's the only time it'll reset to anything other than 35. Ellison will throw in now to Dewey. Again, this will be instituted across the state of Arkansas next year, boys and girls, every classification. Ellison driving at the nailhead. Now to Dewey. Dewey's going to go to work on the right block. Dewey, hook shot. It's good. And it's 2-2. Braden Dewey ties the game. So Class 6A, which is what Cabot's in. Cabot, one of the biggest schools in the state, as it's bounced down to Leaks. Leaks hit the bottom of the rim, got it back. 2 Bombers on him, and he gets it to go. Chris Leaks with 4 points. As I mentioned before, Cabot, one of the bigger schools in the state, Class 6A, played with a shot clock the entire conference season last year and in their state tournament, kind of as a test run to see how it's going to go across the state. Seems like it's going well, and they have the ability, if they're the home team in non-conference or in a tournament like this, to use it, and they have obviously chosen to use it. Bickford with the basketball. Screen from Dewey, down to 10 on the shot clock. Ellison out to the near side, Proctor. Proctor screen from Ellison. Proctor's going to drive right at the nailhead. Back to Ellison, down to 4, finds a cutting Dewey off the window, good. Great pass from Reed Ellison down to Braden Dewey on the block. And it's 4-4. Cabot with the ball, pushing very fast out of the rim. King with it. Now top to Muse. Now to Leaks. On the right elbow, trying to find a cutting Bennett, and it's thrown out of bounds. Mountain Home will take over. A decent little crowd here. Good conglomerate of Bomber fans have made the trip for a Thursday evening. Imagine there'll be more tomorrow night on a Friday and then Saturday for the Lady Bombers. Bickford with it now, dribbling to the far side. Have a little hospitality section, it looks like, in the front row. Bickford. Great defense by Christopher up top to Proctor between the circles. Proctor directing traffic. Proctor now to the far right wing on the left wing. Going to drive at the nailhead. Try to drop it down to Dewey, and it's knocked out of bounds. Shot clock reset for some reason. Not sure why. It's going to get set back to 20, but I don't think that's correct. It was less than 10 when it got tipped out of bounds, so the officials are going to come to the table and talk about it real quick. 4:29. Officials, well, they're going to keep it at 20. Ball's inbounded to Bickford. Shot clock was under 10, and the ball never hit the rim, and it wasn't a violation, but the ball's turned over. Cabot comes up with it. Great steal by Leaks. Leaks was sitting in the lap of Braden Dewey. Christopher now. Christopher inside to Leaks. 2 Bombers on him. Got tipped away by Ellison. Excuse me. Now it's blocked by Dewey. But right to Christopher. Christopher driving through the lane. Kicks it out. 3-pointer by King is good. And it's 7-4 in favor of Cabot. First bucket by someone not named Chris Leaks or Braden Dewey in this ball game. 7-4, Cabot leading. Proctor with it. Screen from Dewey. Proctor's going to drive off the back of the iron. Won't go. Rebounded by Leaks. Cabot will push ahead. Muse with it. Couple moves against Braxton. Not moving him. Leaks at the high post. Now to Christopher. Gets to the high post, driving inside. Nobody coming through him. And it's going to be a layup, and a timeout is called. Timeout by Josh Fulcher. We'll take one with him. You're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
The Locker Room is your hometown sporting goods store and a proud sponsor of the Mountain Home Bombers. Locally owned and operated, Locker Room specializes in team sales, award trophies, and even plaques. You want anything Bomber? Your one-stop shop is the Locker Room. Shirts, jerseys, sweats, and hats, they have it all, and you never have to wait long. Locker Room can even custom personalize anything for you. Highway 62 East, next to Pizza Hut in Mountain Home. The Locker Room, your Bomber headquarters.
As we welcome you back to Cabot, Bombers trailing 9-4. A couple quick buckets by Cabot. 3 from Austin King and the layup by Jermaine Christopher after 2 offensive rebounds. And now Mountain Home finds themselves down 5. 9-4 our score. Bombers with the ball. Up to Carson up top of the key. Carson picks up his dribble. Now to Proctor on the left wing on the far side. Screen from Ellison. Proctor's going to drive baseline. Had to pick up his dribble. Back to Ellison. Ellison now back to Proctor. Proctor to screen from Ellison. Proctor's going to drive. Thought about a step back 3. 10 on the shot clock. McGee Harris fresh into the game. Muggs back to Ellison to Carson. Down to 3. Down to 2 on the shot clock. Has to put up a 3. Didn't hit anything. It's an air ball and a 35-second shot clock violation. And Cabot will get the ball back. The first shot clock violation of the night for the Bombers. Lady Bombers had only 3. It's pretty good since you don't work on a whole lot. Bounce pass inside to Jarrett Coleman. And the layup on the left block is good. And it's 11-4. Proctor now. Proctor to McGee Harris, fresh into the game. Top to Ellison, over to Proctor. To Carson. Braxton Carson tees up the 3. Short. Rebounded by Christopher. Jermaine Christopher along the sideline. Bounce pass. Tried to get it into Coleman, but it was knocked away. And Dewey tried to take the charge. Ran right through Dewey, but he was able to get the shot to go anyway. Looked like it should have been an offensive foul, but nonetheless, they just let it go. 13-4 our score. Bombers trailing. Gee Harris now to Ellison. Ellison over to Proctor. Proctor driving along the baseline. Picks up his dribble. Now to Braxton Carson. Minute 45 left in the first quarter. Now to Ellison. Ellison down to 10. Proctor at the nail head. Tried to dump it down to Dewey. It's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Mountain Home. And Cabot will come up with it. Trip Dyer will step in for Cabot. Landon Sitzman will step in for Cabot. Up top, Bennett. Bennett back to Christopher. Back to Coleman. Coleman's going to drive against Dewey. Finds it inside to Sitzman. Sitzman lost the handle, picked up by Reed Ellison. Ellison going to push ahead. 13-4, Bombers trailing. Ellison, couple crossover dribbles. Screen from Dewey. Back to Dewey. Dewey thought about a jumper, picks up his dribble, back to McGee Harris between the circles. Now to the far side, Braxton Carson. Screen from McGee Harris. Back to McGee Harris, who faded on the screen. Muggs, screen from Dewey, driving along the baseline, pulls it back out. 10 on the shot clock. Proctor, screen from Ellison. Proctor Down to 6. Tried to dump it down to to Harris, and it's knocked away. Christopher with it. Christopher driving. A lot of contact, and it's going to be a blocking foul. It's going to go on McGee Harris. Be his first foul. First foul of the game. Christopher will throw in. Coleman a 3, short. Long rebound to Braxton Carson. Proctor with the basketball. 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Proctor, hesitation move, picks up his dribble about the nailhead. Back up top to Dewey. Over to Ellison, crossover dribbles. Now to Proctor. Proctor back to Carson to the far side, the near side, McGee Harris. Handoff to Ellison. Ellison's going to drive at the nailhead. Dump down to Dewey, lost the handle, and it's going to go to Cabot. 9.5 seconds left in the first quarter. Fifth turnover for the Bombers. As it's inbounded to Coleman, back to Christopher. Clock not running. They got an extra 2 seconds out of it. 7, down to 6, down to 5. Christopher working, goes to the spin move, dumped it down to Coleman. Coleman off the window, won't go, and that'll do it for the first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter, Bombers starting off cold. It is 13-4 in favor of Cabot. We're going to take a short little break and bring you the second quarter of action. You're listening to Bomber Basketball, Classic Hits 101.
For over 50 years, Harold Tucker Auto Parts has been serving the Twin Lakes area. Thank you, Twin Lakes area. See Harold Tucker Auto Parts for parts both foreign and domestic, from parts for automobiles to parts for mowers. They have custom-built hydraulic hoses and welding supplies, too. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30. Harold Tucker Auto Parts, your bumper-to-bumper auto specialist for over 50 years. Family-owned and 4 generations strong. Harold Tucker Auto Parts, proud to sponsor the Mountain Home Bombers. 810 South Street, Mountain Home. 425-5040.
They don't just sell products, they provide solutions. River City Flooring has the largest selection of flooring of all types: luxury vinyl, waterproof, carpet, tile, laminate, and more. Don't just stop at the floor, get the kitchen or bath of your dreams with River City Flooring. There's no better time than now with easy pick payment plans, 12, 24, or 36 months with no interest. River City Flooring, proud to sponsor the Mountain Home Bombers, Highway 62 East, where quality matters and their number one priority is you. Go Bombers!
As we welcome you back to Cabot, beautiful arena they have here, one of the biggest high schools in the state of Arkansas, Cabot High School. Bombers still going from left to right. They'll start with the basketball. 13-4 our score. To the high post, Dewey. Dewey handoff to Proctor. Proctor thought about a jumper. Back to Dewey at the high post, back to Proctor. Proctor with the ball. Hesitation move, driving into the paint. Spin move, steps through, 8-foot shot. Missed, rebounded by Christopher. Skipped ahead to Seegers. Seegers bounce pass into Coleman. Coleman met by a double team. Coleman spin move, a lot of contact, takes the contact and hits the layup. Jarrett Coleman, that's a big dude on the block right there. Listed 6'5", 230. 15-4 our score, Bombers trailing. Proctor with the ball. Screen for Braxton Carson. Back to McGee Harris. Screen from Ellison. Muggs thought about a jumper, tried to find Ellison on the cut, back to Proctor. Proctor going to set the offense, 10 on the shot clock. Proctor driving, little floater won't go, missed it right. Picked up by Coleman, now to Christopher. Ahead to Seegers. Seegers back to Coleman, top of the key. To Seegers again. Bombers in a 2-3 zone. Up top to Bennett. Bennett driving. Over to King, three-pointer. Hit one earlier, but it's picked up by Ellison, knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with Cabot. Just an unlucky bounce for Mountain Home. Kai Bickford will step in, replacing Braxton Carson. Jarrett Coleman and Christopher will take a seat for Cabot as Leaks will return. Ball's thrown into Bennett, back to King, over to Bennett again, now to Seegers. Now to the corner, Muse. Hook shot is good inside for Chris Leaks. Tell you what, Bombers have no answers so far for The paint touches by Cabot. 17-4 our score. Bombers trailing. Bickford now to Harris. Harris screened by Dewey. Up top between the circles to Proctor. Proctor back to Bickford. Bickford. Hesitation move. Pulls it back out. Screen again from Proctor. Got tipped away. Right back to him. Dewey top of the key. Ellison loads up the three. Got it! 17-7 our score now. Ellison into the book for the first time. First time somebody other than Braden Dewey has scored. And the lead is cut to 10. Cabot with the ball. King bounced inside to Seegers. Lost it, and Ellison was standing on the baseline when he touched it. And it's picked up by Cabot. Dodge Harris will step in, replacing his brother McGee. Dodge Harris playing good minutes for the Bombers last week. Had to start 2 games. This ball's inbounded right to Muse, and it's a layup. We got a whistle, and a timeout is called on the floor. Josh Fulcher wants to talk to his ball club. We'll take one with him. You're listening to Bomber Basketball. Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
White River Materials has earned a reputation for producing industry-leading, high-quality results. They have the experience and equipment to perform each project quickly, safely, and cost-efficiently. Privately owned and operated, White River Materials prides themselves in quality work with the customer's best interest in mind. If you need limestone or concrete products or someone to do the job correctly the first time, give White River Materials a call today at 425-3431 or 425-4510.
Well, we're back here in Cabot. Fresh out of the timeout. Josh Fulcher's taken 2 timeouts already. They have 3 left for the ball game. Bombers will have the ball. 19-7, Bombers trailing. Just can't get any motion on offense so far. Cabot in man-to-man. Forgot to mention that earlier. Proctor with the ball. Proctor driving. Left the shot short. And it's picked up by Cabot. Bennett with it. Ahead to Muse. Muse pushing ahead. Skips it. Back up top to Bennett. To Muse. Back to Bennett. Skip to King. King on the right wing. Just working around against the zone of the Bombers. Seegers mid-post. 3-pointer deep from King. Rattle around, wouldn't go. Picked up by Bickford. 4:45 left in the first half. Bickford pushing ahead. Met by 2 Panthers. They'll pull it back out. Screen from Dewey. Back to Harris. Proctor with it now. Proctor to top to Dewey. He wants the 3. Got it! Braden Dewey from downtown, and the lead's cut to 9. Braden Dewey with 7 points so far. 19-10 our score. Bounce to Leaks at the high post. Back to Muse. Muse driving, a whistle and a blocking foul, and counted and 1. Looked like he was set, but official thought otherwise. That's going to go on Braden Dewey. That'll be his first, but only team's second foul. And the officials content with letting the teams play so far this evening. 21-10 our score. The 3-point opportunity is missed, almost rebounded by Christopher. But Muse was able to get the layup to go, but not the and 1. Bickford with the ball now. Bickford to Ellison on the right wing. Proctor up top now. Back to Bickford. Bickford on the far side. Lob over to Proctor. Mishandled it. And it's shot off the bottom of the backboard. Cabot with the basketball. Muse. Back to Bennett. Bennett to King. Back to Bennett between the circles. Bounce to the mid-post. Coleman. Coleman, good move. Little floater, good. Jarrett Coleman with 8 points so far. And it's 23-10. Bickford around the offense. 3:28 left in the first half. Bickford to Proctor. Now to Ellison. Ellison trying to get to Bickford. Now gets it to Dewey up top. Tees up the 3. Off the heel of the iron. Tipped away by Christopher, but it's going to go off of Kai Bickford. Out of bounds, and the Bombers will be back on defense. Braxton Carson will step in, replacing Dodge Harris. 3:10 left in the first half. Bombers trailing 23-10. To the far side, Muse. Muse looking back to Christopher. To the near side, King. Skip to Muse. Muse driving against Dewey. Gets the lay-in to go. Gavin Muse with 6 points, all in this second quarter. And it's 25-10. 2:40 left in the first half. Ellison now to Proctor. Proctor to Bickford. Bickford to the high post, Dewey. Dewey to the spin move, right-handed hook shot is good. Braden Dewey came to play today. He's got 10 points. Got 9 points. And it's 25-12. Coleman at the high post, King left wing three is missed, rebound to Dewey. Bickford now. Across the timeline, 2:10 left in the first half. Bickford to Carson now on the Panther logo. Skip to Proctor. Proctor back to Ellison, top of the key. To Dewey, mid-post. Dewey's going to go to work. Got knocked away, but right to Bickford. Now to Proctor. To Ellison. Now back to Braxton Carson. Bickford with it now. At the nailhead, 10 on the shot clock. Back to Proctor. Proctor's going to run something real quick. Down to 5, down to 4. Spin move. Has to put up a jumper at the end of the shot clock, and it's missed, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Ball didn't hit the rim. Second shot clock violation of the game for the Bombers. And Cabot will have the ball. Minute 35 left in the first half. Cabot with the basketball. Tried to get it to Coleman, but it's tipped away by Dewey, but rebounded by Christopher. Muse driving against the baseline against Ellison. Back to Christopher. King with it on the right wing. Back to Christopher. Muse back to Christopher. Great screen, a whistle, and an offensive foul is called. Christopher drove right through Dewey. Looks like Christopher's shaken up a little bit. As the sub immediately will come in. Looks like Trip Dyer will step in, along with Braden Hall. Great job by Braden Dewey to step in and take the charge there. Minute 10 remaining in the first half. Bombers trailing 25-12. Bickford with the ball. Bickford to Ellison, a whistle, and an offensive foul is called. Not sure what. It's Braxton Carson. Not really sure what it was. Coach Fulcher's wanting to know too. So Muse will walk it up. Less than a minute now in the first half. Bombers down to 13. Hall. Back to Dyer. Muse driving on the baseline, reverse layup, good. Gavin Muse, 8 points all in this quarter. And it's a 15-point game. Bickford to Ellison, a whistle, and so it's going to be displacement against number 15, Landon Sitzman. Be his first foul. 39.5 seconds left. 4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Dewey top of the key into Proctor, mid-post. Proctor out to Bickford for 3. Got it! Kai Bickford into the scorebook for the first time tonight. And it's 27-15. Muse tried to hand it off to Bennett, rejects it. Sends Bennett through to the baseline. Back to Sitzman. Shot clock turned off, down to 14 seconds. Bennett, back to Dyer. Hand off to Hall. Hall. Skip to Sitzman. Head to Muse. Muse a deep 3. 3 on the clock. Won't go. Proctor's going to pick it up down to 1 from half court. Missed, but the Bombers will head to the halftime break as they trail 27-15. It'll be time for the Central Heating and Cooling halftime show. After this break, again, Bombers trailing 27-15. You're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
1.
Back here in Cabot, time for the Central Heating and Cooling halftime show. Central Heating and Cooling, where comfort exceeds expectations. Going to take a look at a few stats for you. Reed Ellison hit a 3. Bickford hit a 3. They both only have 3 points, and Braden Dewey has the other 9. He's hit a 3 and a couple of layups. Bombers not quite out of it just yet. Had a good finish to the second quarter there. Christopher with 2 points, Gavin Muse with 8 points, Jarrett Coleman with 8 points. Chris Leaks had 6 points early, but hadn't done anything since, and Austin King hit a 3 to start off the ball game. Please be welcome at halftime with Lady Bomber head coach Dell Leonard. Coach, I mean, you're starting to shoot it better, but there's other places of the game that got to improve, obviously.
It's just, I tell you what, the MO is out on our 2 little guards. We've got 2 really good little guards, and the word is out to get real physical with our guards and push people off screens, and that's causing us some problems. And some of the mistakes and the turnovers that our guards are having are not all of our guards' fault. Now sometimes, they got to take ownership of a few things, but some of the bad things that are happening out there are not their fault. And there were times tonight, and I thought the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half was a great example of, look, when you play together,
good things happen.
And 5 teammates work together to get a teammate open, then good things happen. And we had a defensive game plan to kind of defend their little dribble handoff, kind of butt screen. Really, it's really tough to guard. And we were really concentrating on trying to take away threes because a lot of their offense comes from the three-pointer. But you have to do such a great job of playing one-on-one and defending the dribble one-on-one. And we did an okay job of that. And then we kind of got our people on the help side. You can't be too far in against a dribble drive. You almost have to hug the offside so they can't get shots. And we kind of got caught in no man's land. And we weren't helping on the drive nor the three. And I don't really know how to explain that. We just started the game real mentally stale. And, again, I look up, and we've got 3 kids running one offense and 2 running the other. We're not being real vocal. They want to get out in transition, and when they do, they're really tough, and they did. Don't want to take anything away from them. They've got a heck of a ball club, and Coach Cook's one of the best. But I'll just say this and be real transparent. We're a lot better than the way we looked tonight. And, our goal tomorrow and the next day is to get better. And that was our goal coming in, to get better. And I thought we had some possessions that looked like we worked at it.
Yeah.
And we had some possessions that looked like we never practiced at all. And so we need to come out tomorrow, and whatever it is they got to do to flip the switch and get in the right mindset before the tip-off, we got to do that. But I'm going to tell you something else. We talk a lot about being young ladies and doing right and acting right and being a young lady, polite off the court. But we got some kids that when they step out there on the court, they need to get a little bit meaner. And, we're missing some of that from some of our kids. And I'm not talking about playing dirty. I'm talking about just
a little dogging you.
We had 0 fouls in the first half.
Yeah.
That tells you 2 things. Number one, we're either not getting after it like we should be, or the referees are letting us play.
Yeah.
So they obviously were letting us play because, they were all over us. So you got to punch back.
Yeah.
You can't just get pinned in the corner and just take punches. You got to fight back, and I mean that. That's I'm saying you still play the game the right way, but you can be physical without being dirty.
Yeah.
And we just took it for a half. We just flat took it, and I didn't think that Kate Jackson took it. I thought she came out ready to go, and that's not in her DNA. And then the second half, some of the others decided they were sick of it, and they started, like Cameron started sticking it up in there and saying enough, And if we can just come out with that attitude tomorrow night, and I'll tell you what I'll do, is if our kids will execute and work together to get a teammate open and communicate out there and do what they're supposed to do, then I will get their back, and I will take care of the officials. But until our kids can figure out how to do the little things right and work together, then I have to coach our kids.
Yeah.
But if they'll do that, then I'll stick up for them. But I'm not going to take up for them if they're just going to get bullied.
Now, real quick, of course, playing at Cabot, a 6A school, playing with a shot clock this weekend. How hard is that to adjust to? I mean, it's something you got to get ready for. Good thing is you only got one senior, so the rest of these kids are getting to see this early, kind of as a jump start to next year.
Well, the things that we're dealing with, Dylan, have nothing to do with the shot clock. It has nothing to do with Cabot. We are in our own way right now, but you're absolutely correct. When you don't do the things that we have control of, then that other stuff becomes like a huge situation.
Mm-hmm. Coach, appreciate the time. Got 2 more games this weekend. Is it PA tomorrow, correct, or is it never?
Yeah, PA tomorrow. They're gonna trap all over the floor, run and jump, little zone press, and that's something that we've really struggled with. So we need to see it, and I hope that we decide that we're gonna come out and punch back a little bit.
Yep. Of course, you see Coach Treadway's group. Then you got Old Foe, Nettleton. Saw them a couple years ago, and of course they're always really good. So it should be a good test for your girls this weekend.
Well, and every game we play, if you don't show up, I mean, it's going to be rough.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I could be somewhere, and our kids could be playing somewhere where, you don't really get challenged every night, but you don't get better. And, the thing about it is I'm not really looking at the scoreboard right now. I'm trying to concentrate on
get better.
And if we'll get better against the people we play in our non-conference, then the wins will take care of themselves in January and February.
Now, one good point Coach Fulcher had before I let you go is, non-conference, at least on the boys' side, and it's pretty close to the girls' too. You've played a team. Every team that you've played is either going to be a state title contender, has a chance to make a deep run in the state tournament, or is just going to make the state tournament. So it's not like you've played anybody bad so far. So that's something that's really helped you in non-conference.
It's big girl and big boy basketball.
Yeah.
And, people can pound on their chest all they want and talk about their records and this and that, but this is the big leagues.
Yep.
And you gotta grow up.
Coach, appreciate the time.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes, sir. This is Central Heating and Cooling halftime show. We're going to take a little break, bring you the second half of action here. You're listening to Bomber Basketball, Classic Hits 101.7, and watching on the Bomber Sports Network. Welcome back to Cabot. Bombers will start on defense. They trail 27-15. Bombers down 12. See what kind of adjustments the Bombers made at halftime. They're going to go with the starting lineup again of Bickford, Ellison, Proctor, Dewey, and Braxton Carson. Good to see Braxton back out there again after the small knee injury. Three-pointer on the way to start the half for Cabot. Won't go. Long rebound right to Leaks. Leaks comes up with it and puts it back in. Chris Leaks, first points in about a quarter and a half. And it's 29-15. Bombers with the ball now. Proctor, back to Bickford. Down to Ellison. Back out to Bickford. Bickford working. Screen for Braxton Carson. Bickford's going to go off the window. Shot was blocked, picked up by Dewey. Kicked out. Proctor down to 5 on the shot clock. Back to Carson, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Cabot will take over on the sideline right at the half-court stripe. Cabot now moving from left to right. Bounce to Muse. Inside mid-post, right to Leaks. And Coach Fulcher wants a timeout. We'll take one with him. 31-15 our score. Quick little 4-0 run by Cabot. We'll take a timeout, and you're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
Across the state of Arkansas, Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville join you in cheering on our favorite teams. We applaud that extra effort that makes our schools and activities an important part of our communities, more now than ever. Working as a team to make our communities better by helping you reach your goals, that's what happens at Farmers and Merchants Bank and the Bank of Fayetteville, home of me banking. Member FDIC.
Scott Tabor Shelter Insurance is proud to support our Mountain Home Bombers. The team at Scott Tabor Shelter Insurance understands and appreciates that professional, dedicated work both on and off the field is a win for both the team and the community. Our Mountain Home Bombers don't shy away from a challenge. They take pride in themselves, their team, and their community. Together, everyone achieves more, and the team at Scott Tabor Shelter Insurance can't wait to cheer the Bombers on through their next great season. Go Bombers!
Quick little 3-0 run thrown at the Bombers. Cabot in a 2-2-1 press now. About three-quarter court. Bickford back to Proctor. Across the timeline ahead to Braxton Carson. 6:40 left in the third period. Now Bickford's going to set the offense. Cabot will sit back down a 2-3 defense. Bickford driving along the sideline. Up top, Proctor. Proctor to Bickford. Proctor. Left wing three, got it! Luke Proctor hits the jumper, and it's 31-18. First points of the night for Proctor. As Christopher driving inside against Dewey, lost the handle going up, and it's picked up by Dewey. So Kai Bickford will walk it up. Bickford will get a screen from Dewey. Back to Carson. Back to Proctor. Proctor driving, lost the handle. To Dewey. Dewey's going to dribble. About high post, and a whistle and a travel's called. And it'll go back to Cabot. 31-18 our score. 5.5 left in the third period. Bombers in a zone defense. Over to King for three in the corner. Long rebound to Dewey. Quick shot by Cabot, and it's picked up. Mountain Home will have the basketball. Bickford on the half-court stripe. Cross the timeline now. Hand off to Ellison. Ellison, top of the key. Now between the circles to the right side. Bickford thought about a three. Christopher was in his grill. Now to Ellison. Dump down to Dewey on the left block. Dewey's going to go work. Good little move. Tipped in the air by Leaks. And it's picked up by Cabot. Diving on the ball. Floor for the loose ball is Ellison, but it's picked up by Christopher. Christopher, a good little point guard. Over to King in the corner. Thought about a three, but now it's back to Christopher. King, nobody on him. Tried to find Leaks back up top. Muse driving, left the shot short, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Cabot. And Mountain Home will regain possession. So Bombers will have the ball. Bickford, fake the handoff, driving with the right hand, it's good. And the lead's down to 11. 31-20 now, 4.5 left in the third quarter. Skipped ahead to King, met by Ellison. Back to Muse. Bounced mid-post to Christopher. Ellison's all over it. Ellison throws it ahead to Proctor. Proctor one-on-run. Off the window, good. And the lead's down to single digits. And a timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor. Bombers cut the lead to 9. It's 31-22. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
Use the smile to change your world, but don't let the world change your smile. Coleman Family Dentistry is a proud supporter of the Mountain Home Bombers. A family-friendly dental office providing the state-of-the-art clinic, Coleman Family Dentistry is dedicated to you, your health, and especially your smile. With locations in Mountain Home and Cotter, there's every reason to book your appointment today. Call 870-424-4670. Go Bombers.
Cabot, we welcome you back. Bombers throwing a little run at Cabot, down 9, 31-22. 4:11 left in this third period. Cabot will walk it up. Bombers extending pressure now. Muse met by a double team. Lost it, picked up by Bickford. Bickford pushing ahead, bounce pass to Ellison, lost it. And it's turned over. Or is it? Not sure what the official call. Believe he got pushed out of bounds, so the Bombers will regain possession. It'll be underneath the Bomber basket. Fresh shot clock now, reset to 35. Ellison will throw in. Ellison looking, still looking over the top to Carson. It's picked off. Christopher with it now. Christopher pushing ahead, layup good over the front of the rim. And the lead is back to double digits. Jermaine Christopher with 4 points tonight. Quiet night, but he's done a lot of good things offensively. 33-22 our score. Proctor tees up the three. Got it! Luke Proctor heating up. He's got 8 points in the quarter. And it's down to 8. Bennett driving, met by Ellison, lost it. A whistle and a foul is called. They're going to call Luke Proctor on it. It'll be his first foul. Christopher will throw in. Bombers in his own still. Changing defenses every possession seemingly. 3 by Bennett on the way. Long, sent to Proctor. Proctor with it. Across the timeline. Hesitation move, great move, driving into the lane. Left it short, tipped in the air, picked up by Dewey, but it's knocked out of bounds, and Cabot will retain possession. Cabot will throw in. Still moving from left to right. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Bombers down 8. Coleman, 10-foot jumper good. Jarrett Coleman, first bucket of the second half. He's got 10 points tonight. He's been a handful. All 6'5", 230 of them. Bickford between the circles, now bouncing to his left to Carson on the left wing. It's whistled, tipped out of bounds. Inbounded to Carson. Ellison with it now. Ellison driving. Screen from Dewey. Top of the key, back to Dewey. Dewey loads up the three. Long rebound right to Seegers. Christopher pushing ahead. Christopher a quick guard. Back to Seegers. Back to King. King on the far side loads up the three in the face of Carson. Hit it. 38-25, and Josh Fulcher wants to talk about it. He wants to call a timeout. We'll take one with him. You're listening to Bomber Basketball, Classic Hits 101.7, and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
ASC Warranty is proud to support the Mountain Home Bombers. ASC Warranty provides dealers with vehicle protection plans for any vehicle in their inventory. ASC Warranty's greatest assets are the people that make up the ASC team. The work ethic and dedication to consistently superior services provided by all of their employees are second to none. ASC Warranty is proud to say the Bombers have the same values. ASC Warranty is one of your biggest fans. They will be cheering you on every step of the way. Go Bombers! For over 50 years, Harold Tucker Auto Parts has been serving the Twin Lakes area. Thank you, Twin Lakes area. See Harold Tucker Auto Parts for parts both foreign and domestic, from parts for automobiles to parts for mowers. They have custom-built hydraulic hoses and welding supplies, too. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30. Harold Tucker Auto Parts, your bumper-to-bumper auto specialist for over 50 years. Family-owned and 4 generations strong. Harold Tucker Auto Parts, proud to sponsor the Mountain Home Bombers. 810 South Street, Mountain Home, 425-5040.
And we're back here in Cabot. Third quarter of action here. Bombers down 13. Cabot throwing a little run right back at Mountain Home. Finding themselves up 38-25. Pressure still extended by Cabot. Looks like it's just a three-quarter court man. Bickford guarded by Christopher. Done a great job defensively all night. Christopher. Dewey with it now on the left wing. Hand off to Proctor. Proctor, the lob up toward Dewey. Got tipped away by Christopher. There he is again. but the Bombers will take it back and throw in underneath the rim. Ellison will trigger the inbound out to Bickford. Thought about a three. Brings it back down. 12 on the shot clock. 10-foot jumper. Hit the front of the rim, but bounced in. Kai Bickford with the jumper. 38-27. Christopher with it now. Bombers content with letting him shoot. Bickford was rondoing him, standing in the paint. Well, here's the three-point line. Coleman from the elbow got it. Tell you what, he's very Bryant Reeves-esque, if that's a name that comes to mind for anybody. He's got 12 points. Proctor ahead to Ellison. A whistle and a blocking foul's called. As McGee Harris be ready to check in. That'll go on Jermaine Christopher. I don't really think he tried to take the charge. He just happened to be there and fell over. As Proctor will exit, Proctor's a little shaken up. He'll take a breather. Brandon Bennett enters the ball game. 40-27 our score, minute 18 left in the third period. Bickford. 30 on the shot clock, now to McGee Harris. Ellison driving baseline, takes the contact, a whistle and a foul. So Bombers will throw in underneath the basket, minute 2 remaining in the third quarter. Carson will throw it in. Carson ahead to Dewey, or into Dewey, excuse me. McGee Harris, screen from Dewey. McGee Harris bounced it to Ellison, now to Bickford. Fresh shot clock for the Bombers. Bickford running the offense. 40 seconds left in the third period. Bounce to Ellison. Ellison, screen from Dewey. A whistle, and they have a stoppage of play. Not really sure what they called. It looked like Gavin Muse is bleeding, so I think the officials stopped the game to get him out, take care of that bleeding. But Braxton Carson will throw in. Looking. Bickford through the elevator screen, knocked down Christopher. Down to 6. Dump down to Dewey. Dewey driving at the rim, got it. Braden Dewey, first bucket of the second half. Shot clock turned off now. Christopher will just dribbling the air out of it right now. He's gonna go down to 8. Screen from Coleman. Driving, a whistle and an offensive foul. It's gonna go against Jarrett Coleman. Set one of those Draymond Green screens. Set the screen and then just rolled into guy that was defending him. Created space, can't really do that. Carson will throw in, 6.3 left. Full court pressure by Cabot. Into Ellison. Down to 4, down to 3. Knocked away, Cabot picks it up. It's out to Seegers. Seegers gets the layup at the buzzer. And it's 42-29 at the end of the third quarter. We're going to take a short little break and bring you the fourth quarter of action here in Cabot. Bombers trailing 42-29. You're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
Use the smile to change your world, but don't let the world change your smile. Coleman Family Dentistry is a proud supporter of the Mountain Home Bombers. A family-friendly dental office providing the state-of-the-art clinic, Coleman Family Dentistry is dedicated to you, your health, and especially your smile. With locations in Mountain Home and Cotter, there's every reason to book your appointment today. Call 870-424-4670. Go Bombers.
The Locker Room is your hometown sporting goods store and a proud sponsor of the Mountain Home Bombers. Locally owned and operated, Locker Room specializes in team sales, award trophies, and even plaques. You want anything Bomber? Your one-stop shop is the Locker Room. Shirts, jerseys, sweats, and hats, they have it all, and you never have to wait long. Locker Room can even custom personalize anything for you. Highway 62 East, next to Pizza Hut in Mountain Home. The Locker Room, your Bomber headquarters.
Bombers find themselves trailing 42-29. Had the chance to cut it to single digits. Turned it over with about 3 seconds left, and Blake Seegers hit a layup. So we'll reset for you. Reed Ellison, Braden Dewey, Braxton Carson, Kai Bickford, Luke Proctor back into the game. Looks like he's okay. He got shaken up on that play with about 2 minutes to go. Fourth quarter underway. Bickford to Proctor. Proctor hesitation move inside to Dewey. Dewey's layup good. Tell you what, they got no answer for Braden Dewey, it looks like. He's got 13 points tonight. Another great showing for the sophomore. Seegers to Fulton, that is Sitzman. Coleman going to work against Dewey. Coleman out to Christopher. Again, they're content with letting him shoot. Coleman reverse layup under the rim, won't go. Braden Dewey the rebound, got knocked down, but Kai Bickford picks it up. Bickford across the timeline now to Proctor. Proctor met by a double team, almost lost the handle, picked it back up. Now between the circles to Carson. Kai Bickford now. Bounce to Braxton Carson. He'll load the three up. Short. Braxton Carson gets his own miss. Puts it on the deck along the baseline. Kicks it out. Proctor lost the handle, and it goes out of bounds. Looked like Braxton Carson could have taken that layup, but they'll call that overpassing and tried to get it to Proctor. Proctor was open, but Cabot will take over. 6:54 left in the ball game. Muse tried to bounce it inside to Leaks, but it's knocked out of bounds. Bombers will take over. Proctor into Dewey. Back to Proctor. He'll walk it up. Extending pressure only on Bickford, it looks like. And now they'll set back into their half-court defense. Bickford across the timeline. 6:35 left in the ball game. Bickford to Dewey at the high post. Hand off to Bickford. Bickford's going to drive. Couple moves, lost the handle, picked up by Cabot. Christopher driving against Ellison. A lot of contact, takes the jumper, it's good. 6 points on the night for Jermaine Christopher. 44-31, Bombers down. Proctor. Hand off to Bickford. Bickford screen from Ellison. Bickford. Couple dribble moves, got a screen from Ellison, down to 20 on the shot clock. 6 minutes left in the ball game. Proctor driving. Proctor step back, elbow jumper, rattle around, wouldn't go. Braden Dewey, the offensive rebound, it's blocked. Blocked by Muse. Cabot with the ball. Hand off to King. King thought about a deep three. Christopher now to the high post, Leaks. Leaks back to Christopher. Christopher, a whistle and a carry is called. I rarely see that called. Certainly was. Put his hand under the ball. Ball quit spinning, so it checked all the boxes of a carry. The Bombers will retain possession. 44-31 our score. Bombers down 13. Still plenty of time left. 5.5 minutes to go. Ellison in the right corner. Tried to bounce it to Proctor, but couldn't get it there. Now to Carson on the other side. Carson. Screen from Braden Dewey. Dewey's been good tonight. Proctor, right wing three, got it! And now it's a 10-point game. Luke Proctor has got 11 points all in the second half here. 44-34, Bombers trailing. Christopher driving against Bickford. Driving in the lane, kicks it out. King back up top to Bennett. Three-pointer on the way from Muse is good, and they respond right back. Gavin Muse with 11 points tonight. 47-34, Proctor with the basketball. Now between the circles, his heels on the half-court circle. Proctor now driving. Proctor puts up the jumper. Rattle around, wouldn't go. There's Braden Dewey again. Steps through, takes the contact, counted and one. Braden Dewey cannot be stopped this evening. He's got 15 points, looking at 16 points now if he completes the three-point play. Dewey's free throw, good. Braden Dewey, 16 points tonight, and the lead is back down to 10. Cabot walked the ball up. Muse swung to Bennett. Bennett met by a double team. Back to Muse. Back to Bennett. Little two-man game. Tried to bounce it into Christopher. Picked up by Braxton Carson. Braxton Carson will just take his time, give it to Bickford. Bickford to Proctor. Takes the wide open jumper. Got it! And the lead is 7. Luke Proctor, 4 threes in the second half. And the Bombers are down 7. Skipped ahead to Bennett. Bennett lost it, and the Bombers will take over. 3:53 left in the ball game. Bombers with the momentum. Proctor into Bickford. Bickford on the Panther logo. Bounces to the right. Going to set the offense up. Gets a running start. Fake the handoff to Carson again. Tried to throw it back. Looked like he had a layup. But thankfully it's going to stay with Mountain Home. Ellison looks like we'll throw in. Is Reed Ellison. Ellison looking to Dewey. Dewey loads the three up short. Ellison's going to be right there to pick it up, but it's sent right to Christopher. Christopher pushing ahead. 3:33 left in the ball game. Over to King in the corner. Back to Christopher. He'll reset. Bombers still in a zone. Hand off to Muse. That would have been big if the Bombers could have got a bucket there. Bennett. Back to Muse to King on the right wing. Back to Bennett. To Christopher. Inside to Leaks. Leaks lost it, got it back. Christopher got it back, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Braxton Carson. Excuse me, Braden Dewey and Braxton Carson. And we have a whistle, and what do we have? Officials are meeting at half court. Not sure what they're talking about. One's talking to the other, very animated. And so not exactly sure what that was. They stopped play, however. Cabot will throw in. Christopher underneath the rim will be the trigger man. 9 on the shot clock. Into Muse. Muse back to the corner. Christopher down to 5 on the shot clock. Muse has to put it up for 3. Got it. That's a backbreaker. Gavin Muse hits the 3. Hand in his face. And the lead's back to 10. 2:54 left in the ball game. Luke Proctor will walk it up past the half-court stripe to Bickford, top of the key, between the circles. At to Ellison, high post. Braxton bounced into Dewey. Dewey on the block. Whistle, and he stepped out of bounds. And Cabot will take over. Cabot will walk it up. 2.5 left in the ball game. Bombers down 10. Been a good fight by the Bombers. As it's to Seegers. Seegers mid-post to Christopher. Kicks it out. Bennett. Bennett for 3. Got it. Brandon Bennett, first points of the game. Proctor as whistled and a foul is called. McGee Harris ready to check in. 53-40 our score. Mountain Home trailing. Last foul is on Blake Seegers. Braxton Carson will throw in. 2:12 left in the ball game. Bickford in the corner, didn't have his feet set. Gets it to Dewey, mid-post. Dewey going to work. A whistle and a foul is called. The Cabot faithful not happy with that. Braxton Carson will throw in. Carson into Bickford. To Dewey, fadeaway jumper, good. Leads down to 11. Tell you what, Braden Dewey's come to play tonight. He's got 18 points. 9 here in the second half. Inside Christopher, high floating shot, won't go. Bickford the rebound, minute 45 remaining. Bickford ahead to Ellison, and he traveled with it. It was awful close, could have went either way, but was called a traveled. And we have a whistle and a timeout. Logan Bailey wants to talk to his squad, bring the Panthers over for the timeout, and we'll take one with them. Minute 45 remaining in the ball game. Bombers down 11. You're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7 and watching on the Bomber Sports Network.
We don't expect you to call a banker to fix your leaky faucet, just like no one expects you to be an expert in the home buying or selling process. That's why you have a realtor. When you hire a professional realtor like me, Kim Conan with Southern Breeze Real Estate, I work for you to ensure you are appropriately priced, correctly marketed, and get your home sold in a timely manner, allowing you to focus your energy on what you're best at. Kim Conan, Southern Breeze Real Estate, 425-8868.
River Materials has earned a reputation for producing industry-leading high-quality results. They have the experience and equipment to perform each project quickly, safely, and cost-efficiently. Privately owned and operated, White River Materials prides themselves in quality work with the customer's best interest in mind. If you need limestone or concrete products or someone to do the job correctly the first time, give White River Materials a call today at 425-3431 or 425-4510.
We welcome you back in. Pleased to have you here this evening and the rest of the weekend here on Classic Hits 101.7 and watching live on the Bomber Sports Network. Your new home for Bomber Athletics. Cabot will throw in. Bennett inbound to Muse. Muse back to Bennett. Met by a double team. Bounce to Coleman at the high post. Coleman back to Muse. Christopher in the corner. 20 on the shot clock. Bombers don't have to start fouling yet. Bennett back to Muse. Playing a little two-man game. Coleman at the high post, inside, wide open. Blake Seegers could have done his taxes under the rim, wide open. 55-42 now, minute 14 left in the ball game. Ellison, handoff to McGee Harris. Bickford driving, high arcing jumper won't go. Christopher the rebound. Minute remaining here in the ball game. Down to 50 seconds. And the Bombers will foul. They'll foul Gavin Muse. Kai Bickford called for the foul. Second team foul for the Bombers. Not many fouls being called tonight at all in both the boys and the girls game. Kind of both teams play as it's inbounded to Seegers. Seegers fouled by Proctor. 45.1 left here in this ball game. Braxton Carson will check back in. Braxton Carson replacing Braden Dewey, who's had a great game this evening. Christopher will inbound into Coleman at the high post. Try to get it back to him. It's tipped out of bounds. And it'll stay Cabot ball. Christopher will throw in, back to Muse. A whistle and a foul. Could be on Kai Bickford again. 2 fouls left to give for Mountain Home. 55-42 left in the ball game. Bombers with 1 timeout remaining. Great job by Ellison, swat away the inbounds pass. Carson guarding the inbound. Christopher will throw in. To the corner. Kick back out, Seegers. Back to Christopher. Almost looked like a double dribble, but it's going to be a foul. Foul's on Braxton Carson. Fifth-team foul on the Bombers, 1 more to give. Ball's loose, almost picked up by Mountain Home. Coleman Going to pick it up, driving to the rim. Whistle and a travel's called, as good as a foul. Bombers will get the basketball back. 28.1 remaining. Inbound to Proctor. Proctor pushing ahead. Proctor looking back to Ellison. To McGee Harris. He'll put up the three. Long rebound to Seegers. Seegers back to Christopher. And the Bombers are not going to foul. Christopher will walk it across the timeline. And the Bombers will fall to 0-1 here in the Cabot Christmas Classic. And that'll do it. 55-42 your final score. Panthers win. Bombers fall to 0-1. We'll have the postgame show for you and hand out the Dewey & Sons Plumbing Player of the Game. You're listening to Bomber Basketball Classic Hits 101.7. We are pleased to have you here this evening. Again, our Dewey & Sons Player of the Game is Braden Dewey. Join us tomorrow afternoon. Again, the Lady Bombers will take on Pulaski Academy, and the Bombers will take on Nettleton. Those games will be back-to-back starting at 4 o'clock. For our producers back in the studio, I'm Dylan Conley from courtside, wishing you a wonderful rest of your evening from Cabot, Arkansas. Final score, Bombers lose 55-42. I wish you a good rest of your evening.